Hi. Welcome to another episode of Mouth Dancing with your host, Young, whom you're very familiar with by now. If you've been listening to every episode, as you should have been. And I'm sure you have been, because I know you, and you know me through listening to this, and I do from talking to you. Ain't that quite a phenomenon? Isn't it weird how there's such a stigma attached to shitting your pants? Especially if you're an adult. If you're a baby or a toddler, I think you can get away with it. Like people say, accidents happen. And babies, they haven't been potty trained or anything, so it's pretty much expected that they're gonna crap their pants. They don't know really anything, basically. They're learning every day. Their brains are just absorbing everything, and they haven't even learned yet that they're not supposed to poop in their pants. Or, that they're supposed to go to a toilet to do it, or wherever. But that shame, it starts at that age when, you start strapping diapers on your baby. So your baby can't just poop freely, like in its bed or in its crib or whatever. It's always pooping into this diaper. And that's when the shame starts. Because the parents have to clean it up and wipe the baby's butt and everything, and the baby's like, why do we have to do this? It's embarrassing. And my parents have to wipe my butt and everything. It's kind of degrading, And that's when it starts. The diaper industry has a stranglehold on Americans. They shame us, like basically from birth, to not want to shit our pants. That's when the stigma attached to it really starts to stick. And just the very, very deep-seated shame that pretty much can never be extricated, No matter how old you get, that shame will always be there. It's like pooping your pants is just something that you just don't do. It's verboten in, polite society. Isn't that kind of weird though? Because just think about all the other bodily functions we do. Like burping, for instance, right? You don't wear like a mouth guard to cover your burps up, right? Or blowing your nose. You don't wear some sort of a nose bag so that your boogers don't fly out. But sometimes, booger accidents happen. Every once in a while you'll see an adult with like a booger or some snot on their nose, right? Or even on their face. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of embarrassing probably, but it's not the end of the world, right? But for some reason, if you shit your pants, it's like such a huge deal. Probably never live that down if like you did it at work or something, or at a party where all your friends are. Adults just don't shit their pants. I mean, it's just not acceptable. Of course it happens, because we're all human, and sometimes, we just shit our pants. I shit my pants I think it was about 15 years ago at this point. I was in my late 20s, and I had just moved back to New York from Japan. I lived in New York, then I was in Japan for about 9 months, but I couldn't find a job while I was out there. So I moved back to New York again. And I had to find a place, for me and my wife as soon as possible, because she was going to be moving back soon too. But I was there ahead of her so I could find a place for us and everything. And I was really jet lagged. And I'd just been eating pizza all the time, just buying slices. Because I didn't have time to really sit down and eat proper meals or anything. I had to get everything set up for us in the city. And, after I got off the subway and I was walking to our new apartment, which I had gotten for us, about a block away from the apartment, I shit my pants. And I'm saying this to you because I think we should be able to talk about this. I don't think we should all be super ashamed of it, like it's so embarrassing. Oh my God. We poop into toilets every day. Sometimes we poop into our pants or our underwear, That happens. But it's like this messaging that we're just bombarded with from the time we're babies, from the diaper industry that's you can't poop into your pants. You have to poop into a diaper or into a toilet. One of the two, right? Anything else is frowned upon, basically. People will look askance at you if you shit on the street, right? But I think there's less of a stigma than even shitting your pants with that. Like, people will say, that's really gross that person shit on the street. But they would probably look down upon you even more if you shit in your pants and walked around like that. It's kind of insane if you think about it. Well, if it's in your pants, at least it's contained, right? Generally. If it's really runny, it might, run down your leg and come out of the bottom of your pants, but if it's a solid turd, it's most likely going to stay in your pants somewhere, right? In your underwear, or just kind of in the vicinity of your butt. So what's the big deal? I would rather have someone walking down the street with poop in their pants than having them unloading their feces on the sidewalk. 100 times I would rather have that than a guy with poop in his pants. But the stigma is so strong that it's like, that guy shit his pants, what a freak, Let's ostracize him from society. It's pretty noisy outside my apartment right now because of Chinese New Year stuff. I hear some fireworks. I mean, the Lunar New Year started like a week ago, but, there's still lingering celebrations and things going on. But yeah, if you hear any noise like that in the background, that's what that is. I think it's fireworks. Basically, what I want to say, though, getting back to the topic that I was discussing before, let's be more accepting of this. It's kind of we live in sort of a wasteland of just shame and embarrassment and stigma attached to shitting your pants. And I think it's gone too far. It's gone on too long. And it's ruining people's lives. You slip up once and you're just a laughingstock forever. That's why I shared my pants pooping story. Hopefully have others step forward so we could all move together on this matter. Adults shouldn't be petrified of possibly doing that. That happens, as they say, there's the saying, shit happens, right? Well, how could that saying exist and then there's still this huge, problem with it? It's a little bit paradoxical, don't you think? Contradictory messaging going on there. So let's just drop that. That wasn't a pun, by the way. I wasn't saying drop a turd in your pants or anything like that. But you can if you want. That's perfectly fine, actually. Go ahead and drop it, actually. Do any of you wear glasses? I do, for one. Not always. Sometimes I wear contacts and sometimes I wear glasses, but you notice that when you wear a mask with them, they get pretty fogged up usually, right? I think there's certain steps you can take to prevent the fogging, like, I don't know, making sure the top of your mask is really tight so that not much air gets out from your nostrils and your mouth. I think you could even probably shove some I don't know, wad some tissue or something up there. But, you don't always have time for that. And sometimes your mask leaks a little bit, right? So then if you got glasses on at the same time, you're walking around and everything's kind of fogged up looking. It's like driving with a lot of condensation or steam on your windows when it's cold outside. or it's like driving through fog, and it's very difficult to see. Actually, it's probably a little bit dangerous. I wouldn't suggest it if you're driving. If you're in a vehicle, you could probably take your mask off anyway. But even walking around is a bit hazardous, I think. If you're not extra careful, your glasses are fogged up, you could like run into something, right? Or trip on something. God forbid any of those two things happen. So, why isn't there a solution to this yet? The CDC is telling us about all this other stuff that we can do, like social distancing and wearing a mask and getting vaccinated, avoiding large gatherings, etc. They don't seem to have issued any guidelines about wearing masks with your glasses, though, for some reason. I think this stems from our society's disdain for bespectacled folks. You know the old insults that get tossed around in the schoolyard, like 4 eyes, Mr. Glasses guy, that kind of thing. Nerd, for one. Geek. Freak. Who doesn't have, 20/20 vision. It's crazy the way these stigmas can influence even, like, government policy, right? This is a government, what are they, a regulatory body? They're supposed to be looking out for the welfare of all Americans, not just the ones with good eyesight. Vision correction is not an embarrassing thing. It's not a bad thing. A lot of people have myopia or presbyopia or astigmatism or, whatever. What have you, dry eyes? Maybe they need to wear glasses. We shouldn't just ignore the fact that their glasses get fogged up, treat them like, trash. I think Mr. Fauci and his goons should look into that. I'm not going to stand for it. I am, however, going to stand for those of you who just happen to maybe shit your pants once in a while. Maybe once every 10 years or something, It even happens to adults, not just babies and toddlers. And I'm standing up for you and the people with the foggy glasses. And this isn't to shame people who don't shit their pants or don't wear glasses either, I'm not shaming people for having good eyesight or for not shitting their pants either, because that's wrong too. Two wrongs don't make a right, as they say. And I'm not going to just flip it on the other people and say, you guys are stupid jerks who deserve to be made fun of, because that's not right either. And with that note, I would like to end this episode. Thank you very much for listening. You are all wonderful. And I have great admiration and very warm and loving feelings towards all of you listening. Thank you. See you next week. Bye.